It's Suzanne and Ayla here. We are going to be making baby meatballs together. When babies are ready to start solids, it's very important that their first foods have a lot of iron. Iron stores in babies start to get really low around the 6-month mark. So it's really important, Ayla Rose, it's really important that since they're not eating a whole lot in those first few weeks, that we make sure that the foods that they are eating are really high in iron. So we're going to be using ground beef today, and meats are high in iron, and they're high in the type of iron that our bodies can absorb very easily, called heme iron. You'll see in the bowl here we have about a pound of ground meat. We have 2 eggs, a half a cup of oats, and 1 cup of frozen chopped spinach that I defrosted in a pasta strainer with some hot water on top of being poured on it, and then I squeezed the water out of it so that it's not very wet. If you can't find frozen spinach in the grocery store, you can use any type of grated vegetable like grated carrots or zucchini. We formed them into these shapes that are a little bit more of a like a finger or more of a log shape. That way the babies can really grab on to their meatballs. What I did was I used 1 tablespoon to grab 1 scoop of meat. I try to keep each meatball about the same size so that it'll cook around the same temperature. You can just use a tablespoon and then roll them and then flatten them, but I find it's just as easy actually if I just use 2 spoons. I grab 1 scoop and then I've already got the shape. I put some vegetable oil on these baking dishes, and what I'm going to do is cover them with aluminum foil because I want to keep the moisture in. With the baby meatballs, we really don't want them to have a crust like what we would like on a meatball, because that crust can really be scratchy on their throats, and often babies don't have teeth yet. If you don't want to bake these in the oven, or you don't have baking sheets, you can cook them in a frying pan, but try to find a pot lid that will fit to cover the frying pan, again, to keep the water into the meatballs so they don't dry out. We are going to cook these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to check the temperature to make sure that it is at a safe temperature. It's been 45 minutes, and I took one of the trays of meatballs out of the oven to check the temperature. I'm going to put the thermometer into the middle of the meatball and hold it there until it stops moving. We want the internal temperature to be at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can see the meatballs are 156, so we are good. And you can see there that they have shrunk quite a bit, and they're mostly nice and moist. If you do have a couple of meatballs that have sort of a brown edging, you can flip them so that as they are cooling, they absorb all of the juices around them. What we're going to do is let these meatballs cool completely, and then we're going to portion them out into plastic bags. That way, when you are getting your meals ready for baby, you can just grab them as you need them. Keep them in the freezer. According to Health Canada, they are good for 8 to 12 months, so make sure you mark on the plastic bag when you made them. And then you can offer to younger babies, I would say about 1 or 2 of these meatballs. If you're nervous about them gagging, you can certainly break it up into smaller pieces. I do often make the meatballs even moister by melting a little bit of margarine non-hydrogenated margarine just to make it that much more moist when they're learning how to chew textures. Around 9 months, we want babe comfortable self-feeding. If you have different textures of foods, they will really enjoy it.